I figured that there'd be some plan, and I'd just go to the website and I could read the schedule.
Hello and welcome. No one knows how to dream any bigger than Elon Musk. Most of us are familiar with his background. He became a multimillionaire in his late 20s when he sold his startup company Zip2.
I'm really very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me.
To a division of Compaq Computers. He founded XCOM in 1999, which later became PayPal, SpaceX in 2002, and Tesla Motors in 2003. He reached billionaire status in 2012 at the age of 40. What's his secret to making his dreams a reality? He'll be the first to tell you it's hard work. If someone else is going to work 50 hours, you need to work 100 hours and get twice as much done. If you want to start a company, you need to work super hard.
A lot of companies get confused. They spend money on things that don't actually make the product better.
There's no getting around it. And you need to attract great people. A company is basically a group of people gathered together to create a product or service. Depending on how talented and hardworking that group is, and the degree to which they're focused cohesively in a good direction, will determine the success of the company. In addition to hard work, you need innovation and the ability to think big. To Elon Musk, the sky's not the limit. In fact, he's thinking well beyond the boundaries of Earth.
The little greenhouse and everything, but the one thing I couldn't compress was the cost to launch.
He has aspirations of reaching Mars, and SpaceX's first crewed Mars mission could launch as early as 2024. Musk has always said that he founded SpaceX in 2002 primarily to help humanity become a multi-planet species. Elon Musk says he plans to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050 by launching 3 Starship rockets every day.
But at the end of the day, in the final analysis, I would say that rockets really should be a lot cheaper than they are today.
And creating a lot of jobs on the red planet. And it looks like his dreams are very close to coming true. Even if space isn't one of your dreams, don't be afraid of the space between your dreams and reality. If you can dream it, you can do it.
People in every part of the world, it takes away so much of your life. There's no real limit to how many levels of tunnel you can have. You can go much further deep than you can go up. The deepest mines are much deeper than the tallest buildings are tall. We think we might, so we developed a little pusher car to push the student pods, but we're going to try seeing how fast we can make the pusher go if it's not pushing something. I intend to stay with Tesla as far into the future as I can imagine, and there are a lot of exciting things that we have coming. We've got obviously the Model 3 that's coming soon. We'll be unveiling the Tesla semi-truck. How do you make it work, say 99.9% of the time? If a car crashes, say 1 in 1,000 times, then you're probably still not going to be comfortable falling asleep. But by the same time, it's never going to be perfect. No system is going to be perfect. But if you say the car is unlikely to crash in 100 lifetimes or 1,000 lifetimes.
Some of them are going to sound like, well, you've heard it before, but it's worth re-emphasizing. I think the first is you need to work, depending upon how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. Work hard like every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company. And I mean, if you do simple math, you say like, okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company. The other thing I'd say is, if you're creating a company or if you're joining a company, the most important thing is to attract great people. So either join a group that's amazing, that you really respect, or building a company, you've got to gather great people. I mean, all a company is a group of people that have gathered together to create a product or service. And so depending upon how talented and hardworking that group is, and the degree to which they are focused cohesively in a good direction, that will determine the success of the company.
And if you try to transfer money to somebody who didn't have an account in the system, it would then forward an email to them saying, hey, why don't you sign up and open an account? And whenever we demonstrate these two sets of features, we'd say, well, this is a feature that took us a lot of effort to do, a substantial improvement in the mass efficiency and the engine efficiency, and probably be a 2-stage vehicle. The energy and the velocity required to get into orbit is so substantial that compared to, say, a car or even a plane, you have almost no margin to play with. Typically, a launch vehicle will get about 2% of its liftoff mass to orbit. So, and that's
the case for Falcon. So if you can only get what your rocket weighs to begin with to orbit, if you're wrong by 2%, you're not going to get anything to orbit.
Entrepreneurial resources that are needed, because you've got to build out the entire base of industry, everything that allows human civilization to exist. And it's going to be harder. My timelines historically have been optimistic, so I'm trying to recalibrate to some degree here. Only a portion of the system came back, like the big orange tank, which was also the primary airframe, was discarded every time. And the parts that were reused were incredibly difficult to refurbish. The only kind of reuse that matters is if it's rapid and complete. The biggest issue I see with so-called AI experts is that they think they know more than they do. And they think they're smarter than they actually are. In general, we are all much smarter than we think we are, but much less smart, dumber than we think we are. This tends to plague smart people. They just can't. They define themselves by their intelligence. They don't like the idea that a machine could be way smarter than them, so they discount the idea, which is fundamentally flawed. That's the wishful thinking situation.